Gimme, gimme power, 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 power 今呼び覚ませ何度打ちのめされやっと初く立ち上がれ
Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo aka Dokkan Assets here, and today we are back with another episode of Rebuilding the Assets. Thank you guys so much for all of the love on the last Rebuilding the Assets video. In the last video we worked on the boy Goat Vegeta here. This turned out absolutely incredible. If you want to check out how I made this, definitely check out link in the description, end of the video, title card, all that good YouTuber stuff. But a lot of you guys requested for me on Twitter, and not only I kind of had it planned already to make the Vegito and KO screen just like I did for Gogeta, so that is what we are going to do today. This one should be a little bit easier to do. Obviously, you know, it's a little bit more simpler than Vegito's. In terms of assets, I already have everything pulled up here. It's literally just this Vegito asset right here, and then we have the background, and that's it, right? Gogeta's was like Gogeta himself, these rocks, this piece, the background, the top half of the background. So this should be a little bit easier. Obviously this image is here is just the image that I'm using for my reference image. Of course, shout out to the homie DBZ World for always holding it down with the super attacks. I can just type into YouTube, hey, specific character super attack, and I'll always be guaranteed to get it. So appreciate you, my guy. But let's go ahead and get into things today. I've already taken the liberty of cutting everything out, so we can just kind of pop that boy out, pop this boy out. I know you're probably like, what, where did it go? Well, there we go. I don't know why that took so long to work. All right, so we are going to use the Gogeta background that we have made already as the base for this piece, as I think it's a pretty good size for what we're trying to do. I didn't mean to move you, Gogeta. I'm sorry, bro. This size was originally the tip screen. I think we still have that down here. Yeah, if we take a look all the way up here, I don't know if it's going to let me move it. No, it's not. But we have the tip screen as the base resolution for this, so I figured that would be good. Again, this one shouldn't be too hard, I'm going to be honest, because it's literally just two assets, which is a very nice thing. I might eventually as well go ahead and do some other things in these guys' essays eventually, because there's a lot that we could actually do with them. There is, of course, a couple of different screens. We could do the transformation screen. We could do the one screen where Vegito's standing there nice and tall and proud as well in his transformation. So plenty of stuff that we could do. Let me know what you guys want to see me do, because I do like doing these. Now obviously this is going to be a little bit more tedious, I guess, even though the other one I think will definitely have been a little bit harder. The problem with this one is that obviously Dokkan crops the assets, right? You don't actually see Vegito's shoulders, whereas you can see with the full asset, we can obviously see them here. Of course, it cuts off the bottom half of him and the top of his hair, but obviously the full asset exists here. So what we need to do to the best of our ability is try and line up the homie Vegito with the background. So as you can see, this building kind of doesn't show on the other side, and then we have this little dark spot here. So funny enough, we're gonna have to zoom in even more, because right here is what's actually lining up with the back of Vegito's head. We're also going to have to make Vegito be placed here properly, we're gonna have to go like this. If we want to change this at all, we're gonna have to cut off the edges of Vegito. I think it'll maybe fit that way a little bit better. Again, unfortunately, with these recreations of different essays and different pieces from the essays, it's not going to be perfect, unfortunately. I wish I was. I wish it could just, you know, be the exact way that it looks. I do think we probably want the tip of his hair poking out of the top there. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. Obviously, there's not really much I can do about the assets quality, because of course I'm just taking it from what the game offers me. You could always just use the waifu on this if you really want to. I'm sure that most of you probably will when I post this picture on Twitter, if you want to use it for your wallpaper or something like that. I know I most certainly will. I actually have, I don't know if I have it handy. Actually, yeah, here. Uh-oh, Samasu just fell to his doom. I have Gogeta. The wallpaper that I made is my actual wallpaper, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, back to this. Let's see here. So we want, let's go back to original image. This to kind of meet with the edge of where his shoulder rises. So that would be right here. So we need to zoom this even more. If you guys remember from the last episode, if you watched that, we did actually use a little bit of Gaussian blur to kind of replicate the effect that Dokkan gives. And not only that, to just kind of make it look a little bit better in general. Because obviously, you know, with the crusty assets that we have here, that, you know, it's just kind of how the game is, right? We obviously want to make it look as good as possible, so we're gonna do that. As you can see already, I'm needing to zoom in to a unprecedented amount. Like, you can see that there's all this stuff poking out from the top here. But as you can see in the actual screen, right, there's barely any of that showing. It's literally just this section right here. So we're gonna have to keep zooming and zooming and zooming, and that is gonna cause a lot of noise on the image. You can already see that there is a lot of jitter in the background here, and again, we're gonna use the Gaussian blur to kind of remedy that a little bit the best that we can. But I hope it turns out well, because honestly, I was really proud of how the Gogeta one turned out. I thought it was great. Okay, so I guess it's a little bit hard to tell because obviously the O in the KO is kind of covering it here, but I'm pretty sure that none of this building shows on this side of Vegito, or sorry, none of the space behind the building shows behind Vegito. So you know what that means. We got another zoom in. I know this video is a little bit more simple than the Gogeta one because obviously that one is putting together a couple of different parts, but I still want to show you the process of how this is made. And not only that, a bunch of you guys requested for me to do this, so I gotta please the people, you know. Let's see. So this actually doesn't look any closer. You know why? I just realized, because if we zoom in, it's basically getting this farther from where it needs to be. Is that how big it is next to him? Kinda. It doesn't feel big enough. This is interesting. Maybe there is space there and it's just under the KO screen. That's why I really wish that we would be able to get these images without the KO there, because I feel like that would be great for seeing how some of this stuff works. Maybe there is a way to do it with modding and I'm just not aware of it, but that looks it still looks too close to him. Okay, you know what I'm not doing? I'm not using that part of the mountain because I believe that's where, yeah, there's a little bit of a dip right there. Okay, that looks a little bit closer. Where does it kind of line up with his hair? Pretty far away. Okay, so this is a lot of minute detail. So I am actually going to cut right here, and then I will play with this a little bit off camera, and then we will come back and I will show you the result. All right, after lots of tedious work, I am happy with the result. I redid the positioning for this like 3 different times, so I'm really glad that I didn't record it all. But we have a semi-finished product. We're going to get to that in a second, but just to kind of compare to the real thing here, you can see that it's about as close as I'm going to get it. The thing that's kind of unfortunate with doing these is that I basically have to eyeball it using different visual references within the piece to be able to line it up properly. A couple of things that I did just to kind of, you know, show you what I did is that I looked at where this lines up at his shoulder. I saw that it lined up about where this little black triangle is here, and that is just about the same place where it it lined up there. So that's another visual spot that we could look at. I also looked at the line right under his hair and saw that there was a tiny little bit of black there. And as you can see here, basically the same thing. The only other thing that I looked at was this little weird shape right here in the side of the building and kind of where it lined up with Vegito's belt. And as you can see, it lines up just about in the same place. So that is going to be basically as good as we're going to get it for that. I think it looks good. It accomplishes what I wanted. The structure here is about the same space away from Vegito's head as it is in this image. And not only that, there is no sky showing between Vegito and the building here. So that's all good and dandy. Now, obviously, we need to make this look a little bit prettier. We're just going to use simple Gaussian blur for this. I'm sure if you wanted to make this a little bit more HD, you could. I have actually... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to take that into consideration. I'm filming on the new computer, so this is sort of a test run of this computer as well. You can't see the window that I'm navigating through, but you can certainly see my mouse there. Maybe I'll have to do display capture next time. Wow, that is a lot of blur. Okay. So we have a little bit of blur that we can play with. What we're trying to get is that we're trying to get rid of all that grain in the background here, this nastiness, and make it so that you can still tell what's in the background. Whoops, I forgot to turn on the preview. Make it so that you can still tell what's in the background, but make it not look gross. Now, granted, this is probably good right here. Actually, 4 looks decent. Plus, it makes Vegito pop a little bit more in the front here. If we even go maybe like 5, that looks pretty good. You can still tell what the background looks like. I do like 4 a little bit though, just because I feel like the building is a little bit more clear. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But it kind of merges the sky a little bit more on 4. You can see that there's still a little bit of grain on your screen there. 6 is probably getting the sky to be as merged as it can. What if we just do 10 and go all out? Yeah, that's basically like an average wallpaper. I mean, not that the ending screen without anything doesn't really, you know, I suppose just kind of look like a wallpaper. But I think we're probably going to go with 5. Just because it still captures what I'm looking for with the sky. If you're wondering what I'm doing here looking up, my monitor is a little bit higher up, so I need to see how the colors look at the top of the image, as well as the bottom, because obviously I'm looking at the bottom more so. I guess there's not really a big difference between the two. I think we're going to go with 4 because that's what I like. So there we go. This is basically the completed piece. I know this one was a little bit easier to do and probably a little bit of a quicker video for you guys than the Gogeta one, but I appreciate you guys watching it nonetheless, and I hope you enjoyed. I know a couple of you on Twitter were asking for this, so definitely hope you got a good wallpaper out of it at least. I might go back to these guys in the future and do some other shots from their essay that would be a little bit easier, because obviously since these guys' essays are so complicated and all the different pieces, it's a little bit harder for me. I mean, I guess a little bit harder for someone like me who doesn't have as much experience to properly put them back together. But hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. We will be doing Jiren next week. We will be doing his KO screen. That was also one that you guys recommended and requested on Twitter, so keep an eye out for that, and I will catch you in the next one. Vegito, aka Dokkan Assets, out. Peace.